Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old matriarch of a well-known family, vanished in the early hours, following January 31st, 2026, igniting a nationwide concern. Beloved for her sharp mind, nurturing spirit, and unyielding independence, Nancy had been the cornerstone of the Guthrie family. Widowed at a relatively young age, she raised Savannah, Annie, and Cameron with love, resilience, and unwavering faith. Her home, a peaceful single-story ranch in the Catalina foothills of Tucson, symbolized safety and comfort, a haven filled with laughter, memories, and warmth. But the serene life she cultivated was shattered, leaving family, neighbors, and the public grappling with fear. Without her essential medications for chronic conditions, her survival hangs by a thread. The disappearance combines personal tragedy with high-profile attention, amplifying the urgency of locating her and understanding the circumstances behind this terrifying abduction. A life of strength and routine. Nancy Guthrie's life was characterized by resilience, community, and routine. Despite relying on a walker for mobility and managing chronic heart problems with a pacemaker, she remained mentally sharp and actively engaged with her family and church. Her daily rituals and interactions formed the backbone of her life and the family's sense of stability. The abrupt disappearance disrupts not only physical care needs, but also the emotional rhythms of the Guthrie household. Friends, neighbors, and community members consistently describe her as joyful, independent, and nurturing, a woman whose warmth shaped generations. The contrast between her physical vulnerability and mental acuity underscores the grave risk posed by her abduction. Each missing dose of medication increases the danger, making the hours since her disappearance both a medical and emotional emergency for her loved ones. Timeline of the disappearance. On January 31st, Nancy's evening followed the familiar pattern of family togetherness. Dropped off at her home by relatives around 9:30 p.m., she entered the house using her walker, leaving the garage door to close around 9:50 p.m. Everything appeared normal. Her phone remained inactive for outgoing communication while the pacemaker continued functioning briefly. Between approximately 1:45 a.m. and 2:30 a.m. on February 1st, the pacemaker app lost connection, signaling a critical window during which the abduction likely occurred. By morning, her absence from church and unreturned calls raised alarms, prompting family members to check her residence. The empty house, combined with signs of forced entry and traces of blood, transformed initial concern into a confirmed criminal investigation. This timeline establishes the narrow window when Nancy was taken, highlighting the precise coordination and planning likely involved in the abduction. Initial law enforcement response. Upon discovering the empty home, the Pima County Sheriff's Department swiftly escalated the case. The presence of blood and signs of forced entry prompted the immediate involvement of homicide detectives, marking the incident as far more serious than a typical missing person case. FBI agents joined the investigation due to Nancy's national prominence and potential risks associated with her health. By February 2nd, extensive search operations commenced with teams covering the rugged Catalina foothills terrain, drones and helicopters monitoring from above, and volunteers assisting with canvassing efforts. Investigators reviewed surveillance footage, traffic cameras, and license plate readers in an effort to trace movements surrounding the time of the disappearance. Despite thorough ground and aerial coverage, no clear evidence of transportation or perpetrators emerged, emphasizing the calculated nature of the abduction and the increasing urgency of locating Nancy alive. Emergence of ransom demands. On February 3rd, the case escalated dramatically with the appearance of ransom messages sent to various media outlets. Emails and communications demanded large sums in Bitcoin, initially $3 million, later escalating to $5 million and eventually $6 million. These messages included details about Nancy's clothing and condition that had not been publicly disclosed, heightening concern about the sender's access to inside information. Law enforcement treated the communications with seriousness, forwarding them to the FBI for behavioral, digital, and forensic analysis. The family received copies for review, yet no direct contact confirmed the sender's control over Nancy. These communications signaled a transition from a missing person scenario to a potential hostage situation, introducing new psychological pressures on both the family and investigators, while raising questions about motives, authenticity, and the risks of compliance. Family appeals and public outreach. From February 4th onward, the Guthrie family leveraged social media to appeal directly to the captor. Savannah, Annie, and Cameron recorded emotionally raw videos describing Nancy's character, emphasizing her vulnerability and pleading for proof of life. These messages struck a chord nationwide, drawing millions of viewers and triggering prayers, vigils, and public engagement. While the videos did not provide new leads, they served a dual purpose: appealing emotionally to the captor while signaling readiness to negotiate under law enforcement guidance. The family's transparency highlighted both their desperation and their strategic approach, acknowledging media reports of ransom while signaling openness to dialogue. This public outreach combined human vulnerability with strategic negotiation psychology, demonstrating the delicate balance between emotional expression and operational prudence in high-stakes abduction cases. Forensic developments. By February 5th and 6th, investigators intensified forensic operations at Nancy's home and surrounding areas. DNA confirmed the blood found on the porch belonged to Nancy, corroborating abduction suspicions. Digital traces, such as the pacemaker signal loss, narrowed the critical time window. Additional communications, including threats referencing medical and physiological conditions, prompted analysis by FBI cyber units, behavioral analysts, and crisis negotiation specialists. Metadata, email headers, linguistic patterns, and blockchain transaction possibilities were scrutinized, reflecting a multifaceted approach to assessing authenticity and identifying potential perpetrators. Ground teams, K9 units, and aerial reconnaissance continued to comb the landscape for physical evidence. The forensic findings reinforced the urgency of locating Nancy alive, while simultaneously illustrating the challenges posed by a perpetrator skilled in both physical and digital manipulation. Coordinated law enforcement efforts. Law enforcement's response combined multiple agencies and investigative strategies. The Puma County Sheriff's Office, FBI Tucson Field Office, Phoenix Division Cyber Unit, and other specialized teams coordinated search operations, digital forensics, behavioral profiling, and crisis negotiation preparation. Each ransom message underwent analysis for authenticity, source tracking, and potential copycat activity. Investigators monitored dark web forums, blockchain transaction pathways, and historical patterns of kidnappings to identify threats. Public appeals, media cooperation, and volunteer engagement were managed carefully to avoid compromising operational security. Law enforcement emphasized communication protocols, instructing the family not to act independently. This integrated approach balanced investigative thoroughness with life preservation priorities, recognizing the urgency imposed by Nancy's health and the sophistication of the abduction scenario. Human toll and hope. Amid the tactical operations, the human dimension remains central. Savannah, Annie, and Cameron grapple with fear, helplessness, and urgency while navigating public scrutiny. Social media engagement, heartfelt videos, and personal outreach underscore the emotional vulnerability of a family confronting life-threatening circumstances for a beloved matriarch. Community members, faith groups, and media audiences have become emotionally invested, offering support while amplifying awareness. The narrative underscores not only procedural complexities, but also the human capacity for resilience, hope, and coordinated action. Each passing day heightens both medical risks and psychological strain, yet the family's visibility and unwavering advocacy sustain momentum in the search, highlighting the delicate interplay of emotional depth and procedural discipline in a crisis of this magnitude. Ongoing investigation and uncertainty. As February 8th progresses, investigators continue pursuing every lead while monitoring escalating ransom threats. The critical questions remain unresolved: the authenticity of the messages, the location of Nancy, the identity and motives of the captor, and her survival without medication. Ground searches, forensic examinations, and digital tracking continue while the FBI and local law enforcement maintain tight operational control. Public appeals remain active, reinforcing the urgency of community assistance while emphasizing adherence to law enforcement guidance. The case exemplifies the tension between hope and uncertainty, illustrating the painstaking multidimensional effort required in modern abduction investigations. As the deadline looms, every action carries profound implications for Nancy's survival, the family's emotional well-being, and the broader public invested in her safe return.